Okay, so let's dive into Addis's training so we can stay consistent at home. It's important to reward him for the behaviors that we want to continue to see, and we're also going to use these training tools daily to follow through and correct the unwanted behaviors, or when he's not following direction, we need to follow through to make sure that he understands that when we give him a command, we expect him to follow through with that command. So let's dive into his training tools. We have the prong collar, which we're going to use whenever he's on a leash. Now, sometimes in the house, I recommend having him on a leash. That way we can guide him when needed, especially when people are coming over. That way we don't create this space where he doesn't know exactly what to do and then he gets a little bit nervous. And instead, we tell him exactly where to go and help him out a little bit with the leash versus just trying to point and guide him without any leash on him. How we put this on, we're going to stabilize one prong and then you're going to slide down and it's going to pop apart like this. To put it together, we're going to pinch this. And there we have it. We can take this apart at any of the links. We're going to attach it to the D-ring, the one that swivels with the leash. Do not attach it to the circle. How we're going to use this to stay consistent, for example, we'll do the heel command. Heel means walk next to us on a nice loose leash, right? He shouldn't be too far ahead, shouldn't be too far behind. Nice relaxed leash walking with us. This is going to help us take him out and about and be able to socialize him with the outside world without him zigzagging and going all over the place, or maybe running up to somebody or having someone come up to him because he's far ahead of us. We can advocate for him and say, oh no, like let him approach you, or have somebody, like if they go to put their hand out, kind of block them and say, no, we don't want to make him uncomfortable. It's important to advocate for Addis so we can make sure that we keep him comfortable and confident. How to use this: if we're in the heel position and he starts to wander a little bit forward or walk a little bit too fast for us or do anything other than walking nice next to us, we're going to say no and give the leash a little pop reminder and then tell him heel. So the command is heel. We're giving him that reminder after this to let him know, hey, you made a little mistake, but do this and you know what you're supposed to do. Then when he is walking next to us on a loose leash, we're going to tell him good boy, good heel, and reward him with treats, praise, and petting. So again, it's no, pop the leash, give the command. That's how we're going to use this with any of the commands. That's how we're going to follow through. It's say no. You're marking the incorrect behavior with a verbal no. So you're telling him what you're doing is not what we're asking, following through, and then telling him what we want from him. Then we have the remote collar. So we're going to use this also with the prong collar. This is going to help us kind of transition into more of the off leash, but we want to make sure we do everything on leash first. So how to turn this on? We have a red dot right here. That is a magnetic key that turns the collar on. The remote has a matching red dot. We're going to touch these two together. Green means that the collar's on, charged, and ready to go. On-off button in the back here, we're going to push and hold it until the screen lights up. Now, right now, we're going to focus on the black S button, but at the end of the video, I'm going to go over all the other features of this remote collar. So let's talk about heel again. So we have, again, our thumb. We're going to put it on the black S button. We're working on heel. He's walking next to us. Great. We're rewarding. We're praising. If he gets a little bit too far ahead or starts to walk ahead, that's going to lead to pulling, and we don't want that on the leash. So if he starts to walk too fast, no, follow through, give the command heel. No, heel. No, sit. No, down. Whatever command you're trying to give, if he's not following it, we want to make sure we follow through so he understands to respect our commands when we give them to him. And of course, we're going to be fair and make sure that he understands what we're asking in the environment, right? But it's always no, follow through, give the command. So we know in heel, 80 to 90% of your walk should be in that heel position. The other 10 to 20% can be in the free. Free is his release term of he is done with a command. He doesn't have to be in any set behavior. He is free. He is done with that set command or behavior. So let's talk about sit. Sit means stay until he's told free or heel. So for example, door manners, we have him sit at the door. This is to help him not just bolt through it, so that way we can walk through together. So we have him sit, we open the door, and then we can tell him heel and walk through it, or we can tell him free, whatever works in that moment. Then we have down, stay. Down means lay down and stay until he's told free. Now with down and place, we do not free from a distance. We're going to talk about place here in just a second. So whenever we have him in that position, which you'll see here in a little bit, we always go back to him, reward, and then we tell him free. That's going to create a really strong stay because he's going to understand that I don't get up until my owner comes back and releases me from that command. So down means lay down and stay. When we reward, we're going to reward low with treats, good down. we do our distraction, we go back to him, good boy, and then we tell him free. Same thing with place. Place is going to be a great command for when people come over. That way they can toss treats onto the bed, because when we reward, if we pretend this box right here is place, the treats go on the box. We don't give them to him in from our hand, because we want him to think that the reward comes from the boundary. So you saw that with the canine guys where they would help us and they toss the treats onto the bed, because he knows that the bed is the positive zone. Plus, if he doesn't want to reach and take treats from their hand, he doesn't have to. He gets rewarded just for their presence. And let's say someone's a little bit more nervous being around him, they can toss the treat and he knows to look at it for the bed. So for on the bed. So we always reward on the bed when we're practicing place. So it's a clear boundary, an elevated boundary. That way he knows all 4 paws are on this bed. He can sit, stand, or lay down as long as he stays within the boundary of the bed. Same thing with the free. We don't free from a distance. We don't go, 10 feet away and then call him to us. We always go back to him, good boy, and then tell him free when we're done with practicing that command. So again, really important to use when you're having guests come over. That way he's in a safe zone. Place is his safe zone. He gets rewarded there. It's fun, but he also understands that if he steps off the boundary before we tell him free, we follow through. No, button collar, follow through. He has to stay on until we tell him free. Then we have come when called. So you're going to see this in the video. We tell him free to go explore. We always have a safety net, especially if we're not in a fenced-in area. So we tell him free. He's exploring. We want him to come back to us. We call him come. We praise the action of him coming to us, have him sit, and then reward. You want to reward this command every time. That way he has a solid reward history of coming to us when we call him. A reward history is a positive association with getting rewarded for doing a certain behavior over and over and over again. If he ignores our command or doesn't follow through with our command or breaks the command or does anything other than doing what we're asking, we're going to follow through. No, come. No, place. Whatever the command was, we're going to follow through with the training equipment, because we want him to understand that we're going to be firm, but we're also going to be fair. As long as you do the command, we're going to praise, pet, reward. If you choose not to, there is a consequence for that action. And then we have leave it. Leave it just means don't get that off of the ground, so you can practice with dogs. Save foods, drop a piece of food on the floor, tell him leave it. If he still goes for it, again, follow through with the training equipment. And it's super important to practice everything on leash first until Addis understands to do the training with you at home. So most importantly, you want to have fun, stay consistent, and now we're going to show you his commands in action.
Hello. How are we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Sit. Hey, sit. Down. Down. Good boy. All the way. Good job. Down. Good boy. Good down.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, well, thank you.
Good down.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy. You.
Good down.
What's his name? Bubbles. Bubbles, can I pet him? Hi. It's okay.
You won't hurt her. She's a rescue. She's a little team. I know you have them. I've just seen them the other day. Follow me.
Good down. Good boy. Down. Free. Good boy. Good job. Okay, so let's go over the other features of the remote collar. We can set this prong collar to the side. So we know how to turn the collar on, right, by touching the red dots. That's the exact same way you turn the collar off, right? So red means off, green means on, and we're touching these two red magnetic dots together. Same thing with the on-off button in the back. Push and hold it. Oh, I didn't hold it long enough. We'll go over the flashlight feature. So that is a great example. If you don't hold the on-off button long enough, you will activate the flashlight feature. So we'll talk about that in a second. So again, it's this button right here. Push and hold it, and we've turned it on. Now, if we just tap, see how the flashlight's activated? Now we can see them at night. Tap again. So we went over the black S button is what you're going to use. The red S button is for emergencies only. That is going to boost the level, I believe plus 15, right? So this would be if we're practicing and all of a sudden Addis runs towards the road and he's chasing something. All of a sudden his adrenaline's way up here. Well, 15 can only reach here and below. So we need a little boost to snap him back to reality. We have not needed this for him, but just in case you do have it, that's again the red button. So you only push that for emergencies. Then we have the T button over here. That's just vibrate. So that vibrates the collar. We don't use that really in the beginning, but it's a great tool to make sure that we turn this on before we put it on Addis. You want to make sure this goes on first thing in the morning and it comes off right before bed. He can wear this 12 to 14 hours a day, every single day, whether you plan on training a whole lot or not, because we want to stay consistent. We don't want him to think this is the only way we can communicate with him, because then he's going to become collar savvy, and that means he will only listen when the training equipment's on. So make sure we have this on him every single day, all day long. Now, it is waterproof. He can go swimming with it, but if he's really wet from drinking, drooling, whatever, you want to make sure you take the collar off, dry him thoroughly before putting the collar back on, because it fits really snug so these contact points don't rub against him and so he can feel it consistently. We don't want moisture under there because then it's going to build up a bacteria and that could lead to a skin infection. Back to the collar. So this little M/C button you don't need to worry about. That changes it from momentary to continuous. So momentary means no matter how long I hold that button down, it's just going to stimulate that quick second. Continuous would be if I hold my finger down, it would continuously stimulate. We used continuous on a lower level in the beginning of training to show him that if he feels this, come get a treat, and it's a positive thing versus a negative thing. And then the dial. So level 15 is what works for him right now. But let's say we need to change that. The dial right here is locked. We're going to unlock it by pushing down until the 1D is flashing at the top. So now we can adjust the level. When would we need to adjust it? If 15 is just not getting his attention anymore, we need to turn it up to 20, 25. If 15 seems like he's having a very dramatic reaction to it, we can turn it down to 10. But I think 15 right now is the sweet spot for him, so we'll just keep it at that. It's enough to get his attention, and then we want to push down and lock it so we don't accidentally turn it up or down when we're wearing this as the lanyard part. Perfect. This is rechargeable, so it should last 24 hours on a charge, right? So like he wears it all day Monday, turn it off at night, wears it all day Tuesday, charge it Tuesday night. So it'll last about 2 days on a charge as long as you shut it off at night. And then the charging port for this one is under here. You have a charger for both the remote and the collar, so you can charge them both at the same time. Really convenient. This is the original strap that his collar came with. I really like the quick snap one, easy on, easy off, right? But it also has this bungee, so we make sure that it's not too tight for him, which is perfect. He doesn't have long hair, so you don't need to worry about putting on these little extenders. I don't think he needs them, but this is the tool to change it out. Again, don't think he needs that. This is the instruction manual that goes over all the buttons in greater detail, but we did cover everything that you pretty much need to know for him. This has a 2-year full warranty, so if anything happens to it in the next couple of years, contact the company and they will help you through it, send you a new one if needed. great customer service. So if anything happens in the next 2 years, let them know if it's not working up to its full potential. Okay, so using these tools along with praise and treats when it's appropriate, we want to, again, reward the behaviors we want to keep seeing. So when he's brave, when he's doing the commands that we're asking, we do not want to reward when he's being scared, but we also don't want to correct that behavior. We let him work through it, and then when he's brave, we reward that. And then, of course, if he straight up does not listen to our commands, we follow through with the training equipment and say, hey, you need to listen when I give you these commands. So have fun, stay consistent, and let us know if you have any questions.